So today we are going to get the slime out of the okra. Some people like the slime, but some of us do not, and I am definitely one of those. So we have 2 skillet pots going. They're electric skillets, so they're plugged into the wall, and I've already added the okra, and we are just stirring it around so that all the okra can get some of the heat. And as you can see, it's really slimy. This is the second pot, and again I've added the okra, and you can see just how slimy it really is. But we're going to be constantly stirring back and forth every couple of minutes. So at this point in this pot, I'm adding just a little bit of vinegar. And I'm also going to add my rotel tomatoes, because that's what I put in my okra. If you are going to add anything like onions or any kind of seasoning, you can add it at this point as well. And the vinegar is going to help get the slime out of the okra, but you will not taste it. It cooks out, and so you won't have any kind of a vinegar flavor. And you just stir to try to kind of make it evenly distributed. Just stirring it around, and you don't need a lot of vinegar. As you can see, I barely put any vinegar in there, but again, you won't taste the vinegar once everything is cooked. And this is a long process. It usually takes most of the day, because we are definitely going to get that slime out. And so this is the second pot. I've already added the rotel tomatoes to it, and now I'm going to again add just a little bit of vinegar to the pot. And sometimes while it's cooking, I may add a little bit more, but most of the time, the little bit that I put in the beginning is usually good enough. So I'm stirring it around just to make sure it's evenly distributed. I have the rotel tomatoes and the vinegar throughout my whole pot of okra. Look at all that slime. Ugh. Although some people do like the slime. My husband is one of them. He likes the slime, but I prefer not to have slimy food. So we're back to stirring the pot. As you can see, the slime is starting to cook out of the okra. You don't have that slimy slime stuff. I don't know what you call it. It's just slimy. You don't see that in this pot. So you can see that the vinegar is doing its job and getting the slime out of that okra. stir in the pot. It is an all-day process, and you do not want to get busy doing something else and not remembering to stir the pot, because that's how you're going to get the even distribution in getting all the slime out of your okra. You want to constantly stir. So every few minutes you are stirring the pot. So it is a long process, and you don't want to forget to stir, because then some of your okra will be de-slimed and some of it won't, and it won't be evenly cooked. So you constantly want to stir. If you have to set an alarm for every 2 to 5 minutes, that would be a good idea, because you do not want to forget. And as you can see, every time I open the pot to stir, the pot looks like the okra is getting smaller and smaller. So we started out with a full pot of okra, but as you continue to cook it, it is going to shrink, and it's going to look like you don't have as much okra, because by that time it's cooked down to the point where now it looks like you have a small amount of okra. So you will start with a full pot of okra, but at some point it does shrink. So just keep stirring. So as you see, it's getting to look like there's less in the pot as it's cooking down. You just gotta keep stirring. You see how dark it's turning out, and that's what we want. By the time we're finished, it's gonna look almost black, but it's not burnt, because once you put it in your food, it will turn back green, and it won't look like that. But when you're finished, it will be really, really dark, and it will look like almost like it's burnt, but it's not. And at some point, if you don't want it to be that dark, you can stop at any point that you think is good for you. I tend to make it as dark as possible because I want to make sure there's absolutely no slime left. So just keep cooking it until it's to your liking, or if you're like me, it's completely dark and I make sure there's no slime in it.